Well, hello students. My name is Philip Kraus and I'm going to be your professor for this summer course, Intro to Christianity, both the hybrid in-person section and also the online section. Look forward to getting to meet those of you who are going to be in the in-person class. And those of you who are online, at least I'll have the chance to discuss things with you in the discussion board. This video is intended to introduce myself and the course, and then to spend some time going over the syllabus. That way, when we start on day one, everybody is on the same page. Let me open us in prayer, and then we will get started. God, I pray for all of these students, whether they are excited or scared or just not really looking forward to this course. I pray that it would be a helpful course, encouraging course, that it'll answer any questions they might have about the Christian religion. And I pray, Lord, that I can be a support and encourager in their life as they go throughout this course for 7 weeks, and that everything would work out well in the end. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, so Intro to Christianity. Now, this syllabus that I have here posted that I'm going to be going through, it is for the hybrid or in-person section, BT 150. But all of it will apply to the online portion, and I will make some distinctions between the two portions when it comes time to get to talk about the differences in the online versus the in-person. So my name is, of course, Philip, and I have been teaching this course now for about 4 years. I've been teaching at Carolina U since the fall of 2000. I teach a bunch of other courses, missions and evangelism, preaching courses, a lot of different things along those lines. This is one of my favorite courses because I get a chance to meet a lot of students that I won't have for a lot of the other courses, because you have, you're going for a business degree or teaching or some communication degree, something like that. And so I won't get to have you in other courses. So it's neat to at least have you for one course during your college journey. I have 4 kids ranging from 17 to 10. We also have recently become foster parents, and so we actually have 2 additional kids in our care right now who are 7 and 6 years old. So we have 6 kids in our home, which you can imagine gets pretty busy some days. Married to Mandy, and we've been married for coming up on 20 years the month of May. So just love her to death. I'm also a pastor. That's my main profession, is I pastor a church in Germantown. If you have any questions about that, you can reach out to me or see me after class. But I enjoy reading, I enjoy running, and coach wrestling on the side too in high school. So a lot of different things going on. But again, I count it a blessing to be able to teach at Carolina University, and I hope that will come through in our time together during this course. Throughout this course, if you ever have any questions, please check the syllabus first, because I think that I've covered everything that you should know, and then if not, reach out to me. So this course is going to be running from May 5th to June, I want to say like 22nd or something like that. It's 7 weeks. And for those of you who are hybrid for the BT 150, you have class every single Tuesday, unless I'm going to be out of town, and we'll cover that. Our class times are going to be at 12 o'clock to about 1 o'clock, and that's going to be in Deeds 105, bottom level, the big room. For those of you who are online, you do not have an in-person class because you are online, but your requirement sort of, we don't call it an attendance requirement, but your participation requirement is a discussion forum where after you watch the week's lectures, you are going to participate in that. And so that's one of the main differences. But here on the first page, you can read over and see the description and the delivery and methods. Here are the course learning outcomes. This is what we are looking for, what we are shooting to learn by the time you get done. Now, there are 3 books for this course. There is a sort of page requirement for each undergraduate class, and so this helps us meet that. Now, there are going to be different editions, different covers. If you put these books into Amazon or you go into our bookstore, they might look different. Mere Christianity, I believe you can find that for free online. You can just put in Mere Christianity open source or something like that. I can't remember, and it should pop up. The other 2 you should purchase. You can use used editions. That's perfectly fine. But you're going to want to get those as soon as possible because you have reading quizzes, you have interaction papers that are due for these books, and you can't do them without actually having the books themselves, unless you and another classmate are going to be sharing them. And then, of course, that gets a little tough when you decide to, when you both need them at the same time. But those are the 3 books: The Reason for God, Mere Christianity, and Basic Christianity. Now, let's get down to the course requirements and assignments. And before we do that, let me show you here. This is your student view, and of course, if you've already accessed the syllabus here, then you should be able to hopefully find all this stuff in your course. But here's what your course pretty much looks like. It shows you here for week 1, which, let's see. So you got a check-in quiz that's going to be due Thursday, May 8th. You need to make sure you do that. Interaction paper. Every assignment in the course is due on Sundays at 11:30. That is not going to change. And so if you email me and said, hey, I'm sorry I messed it, I thought this was due on Monday. No, everything is due on Sunday by 11:30. So keep that in mind. Week 1, your assignment is going to be a 1-page paper, which we'll go over in the course requirements. But what you're going to do is you're going to write your paper, you're going to save it, you are going to upload it into, when you click here, it will give you an opportunity here to upload file. You're going to upload that file, and then I will grade it in the next couple of days. And on and on and on. So you can access your resources here too. This has all of your lectures for the entire course. That's for the in-person and the online. You're going to be watching the same lectures that I've pre-recorded. You have a sample interaction paper. So if you're wondering what does Professor Krause, what does he expect of me for my interaction paper, this is right here, sample interaction paper. Read that. That's kind of what I'm going for. And then you got an interview sheet, which you're going to use for one of the other assignments. So that's kind of what that looks like. Now, starting week 2, you are going to have a quiz, reading quiz. And you're going to have it week 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I don't do it for week 1 because you might not have your books. I don't have it for week 7 because you probably don't, you have your final exam that you will be studying for. Most of the weeks, you're going to have 3 to 4 questions based on the main ideas of the reading that you are going to take. They're going to be true or false or short answer. They are supposed to be closed book. So, they're going to be open for 3 or 4 minutes, which means if you don't know where to look, you're not going to have enough time to open your books, find the answers, and write that. So that's kind of why there's a short time. One of the questions is always going to be, have you completed all the reading for this week? And if so, then you already get 50 points. Week 1 through 6, number 2, you have the interaction paper. Now, this is one of your this is actually the highest, 30% is the highest. percentage of your grade are these interaction papers. The point is for you to show me that you understand the material enough to interact with it. What that means is interaction might include agreement with the author, more like reflection, elaboration on what they said because you agree with it or disagree, or you disagree with it. I'm not giving you these books because I expect you to agree with everything. I expect you to be able to learn the position of the author and then interact with it. That means you are not just summarizing. If you week one's not a good example. Week 2, you're going to read Mere Christianity, book 1, which is like it's made up of 4 books, I believe, chapters 3 through 5. If all you do is summarize, chapter 3, C.S. Lewis writes this, chapter 4 he writes this, chapter 5 he writes this, but you don't interact with the ideas or the the themes that he's talking about, then you're going to get a poor grade. This is why it's called an interaction paper. I want to see that you understand what he's writing, what he means, and then you can either agree or disagree or what. Now notice here, I'm going to have to email a bunch of you because you're not going to pay attention to this, but it's single-spaced, right? This is single-spaced right here, as you can see, like it's just one line after another. Let me pull up something and show you. Let's open a new document. Oh, why am I so bad at this on the spot? New document. All right, this would be double spaced. See, there's a space in between. I know you probably already know this from writing. Your papers should be single spaced, right? When you write this. So you are going to be writing this based on interaction papers, and you're going to upload it in the thing. You're going to do that week 1 through 6. Now, week 1 is tricky because you're probably not going to have all your books yet, and so rather than assigning a book, you are going to write on the concept of what is truth. I have a lecture already posted that you can watch, and then you are going to write, and you're going to interact with the ideas that I state in that lecture. Do you think that I'm right or wrong? You're not going to get a bad grade if you disagree with me, but you got to be able to back it up. Because truth is such an important concept in our lives, I want you to interact with that idea of what is truth. Those are due on Sunday. One of your major paper, rather than having you to do a research paper, I want you to have a more interactive paper. And so we're going to be talking a lot more about this later, but you are going to interview a student that has a different religious background. What that means is they believe something different than you. Like if you are an atheist, then you cannot interview another atheist. If you're a Buddhist, you can't interview another Buddhist. If you're a Christian, you can't interview another Christian. You must interview someone of a different religion. And the main goal of this interview is to, number 1, help you understand your own beliefs better, but number 2 is for you to understand the beliefs of another person and how yours are different or similar. You are going to be using the interview sheet, which is in your resources I showed you earlier. You're going to click on that, download it, and then you're going to type in your answers. And the way it's going to go is you are going to on the interview sheet, when you pull that up, you're going to see that I've already given you 4 questions that you must use. And you're going to ask your interviewee those 4 questions. And then you're going to write out what they said, kind of summarize it, that sort of thing. Then, let's say number 1, the question is, do you believe in a God? That's one of the questions. Do you believe in a God or a higher power? And so let's say you interview a person named Susan, and you ask Susan, hey, do you believe in a God or a higher power? And Susan comes back, and let's say she talks about it for 5 minutes. Well, you obviously can't write out all 5 minutes, but you're going to summarize her answer. No, I don't believe in God for these reasons. I don't believe in God because of suffering, because of evil in the world. And she'll give you a bunch of answers. All right, so that's part one. Part one for question one is Susan said this about whether she believes in God or not. But there's another part, because you are going to then interact, right? Notice here, part one of this is you're going to give a summary of their answers. Number two, though, you're going to interact between your belief and theirs. So you're going to say, Susan doesn't believe in God, but I do believe in a God for these reasons. This is where I think Susan is wrong. So what that does is it shows me, number one, you understand what Susan believes. Number two, you understand the similarities and differences. So here's the thing. If you want to get a really good grade, you not only have to, you got to use my 4 questions, but then you've got to come up with 4 additional questions. As you're going to see here, 4 questions for the interview are provided by me. The other 4 questions must be developed by the student, and you'll see 5, 6, 7, 8 on the sheet, and you're going to type in your questions. So the better questions that you ask, the better responses you're going to get from them. So if you ask really good questions, this interview is going to go really, really well, because you're going to have a lot of material to work with, to interact with. Now, you must use the sheet that I provided. So 1-inch margins, 12-point Times New Roman font. And then your pages must be 3 to 4 pages single spaced. So again, single space. You're not double spacing it. If that means it comes out with 8 questions, 4 pages total, comes out to about half a page per question. Again, if you ask good questions and you interact with their answers really well, the paper is really not that hard. At the very beginning of the paper, you got a couple questions you've got to interact with. Your name, how do you know them, what religion do they claim to be, that sort of thing. These are going to be due Sunday, June 15th. So this is like week 6. So do not wait until the last day of class to do this, or the last day that this due. It's going to take a little bit of time, but it's an easy enough assignment that you can start week 1 and start finding someone who, has different beliefs. Finally, you got a final exam. The final exam is going to be proctored in some way. I'm going to figure that out as we go. You'll know that. It's made up of multiple choice, true or false, short answer, and essay questions. You are not allowed to use your books. It's closed book, closed internet. You can't use AI on any of this stuff. So it is going to be just you and your knowledge. It's going to be taken from the reading, from the lectures. You will have 90 minutes, and I hope to post a review video to prepare you for the exam. Here is your course schedule. So here's what you need to know, the big picture of the course. Each week you got 3 to 4 lectures. You're going to watch those. The idea is you have to watch them each week before the week is up, because then you're going to have more lectures for the next week. These lectures are the same for in-person and online students. For in-person students, when we get together on Tuesdays, we're going to talk briefly about the lectures, and then I'm going to go deeper into one of the ideas that we talked about, the main idea of those lectures. Now, for those of you who are online students, for your participation grade, you must watch the lectures, and then by Sunday night, you must go in to your discussion forum, where you have to see like week 1, week 2, week 3, right? You must go in and you must post, I think it's 100, it's in your syllabus, 100 to 200 words on what you learned from those lectures. What were the main ideas of those lectures? And then I will come back and I will interact with, whether you posted enough or not. And so you have, here is a schedule of what we're going to be covering. Now, for the sake of your reading and for the sake of your interaction papers. Now, notice right here, because I get emails every single week of the class asking me, hey, what am I supposed to write on? Well, it shows you right here. For your interaction papers, I'm telling you what you must write on. You can't write on anything else. For week 1, you must answer the question, what is truth? Interacting with my lecture. Week 2, you must write on Mere Christianity, Book 1, chapters 3 through 5. Week 5, you must write on The Reason for God, chapter 5. Like, that's the only thing I want you to write on. Now, which means this is part of your reading for each week. So, for example, when you look right here for week 2, you're going to be reading Mere Christianity, Book 1, chapters 1 through 3 and 4 through 5, which means when it comes to your interaction paper, you're writing on what you've already read for the week. All of this could be the bold right here are chapters you need to be reading in the book. With that being said, that means that they can be a part of your quiz. They can be a part of your final exam. If you read it, it is fair game. For those students who are in the in-person class, notice here, this is what we're going to be talking about each week when we get together. Kind of the main ideas so you can be prepared. If there are any weeks, and there are 1 or 2 weeks where I'm going to be out of class, you will have a separate lecture / assignment that must be completed for the course. Course-specific policies. Papers and quizzes that are turned in late will be deducted 1 letter grade. So it's, regardless of what the excuse is or the problem is, you're going to be deducted. You can use AI in this course for brainstorming and things like that, but it must not be used, you must not copy and paste your answers from AI for something. If you do, I've done this for long enough that I know the difference between your student writing and AI writing. So, and you will get in trouble for that. So please don't do that. Course grading. Here is how everything breaks down. Here's your grading scale. Here are some rules, what I expect of you and what is expected of me. Here's how you can complain if something comes up. You can reach out to my supervisor, Dr. Hullinger. You are expected and required to attend / participate in course. If you miss too much, then you can fail the course. And then here is biography of some other books if you enjoy this course and are looking for what to do, where to go next. So, with that all being said, if you have any questions based on what you just heard, any questions for me, anything that I can do to help you prepare for this course, please let me know. But if not, I look forward to meeting you, having you in class, and I will talk with all of you soon. God bless.